Welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars, the corner of the internet where we don't just repeat the rumor mill, we sit with it, feel it, and pull the thread until the truth shows its trembling face. Today isn't about red carpets and perfect poses. Tonight, Istanbul's sleepless sky served as a witness to something raw, fragile, and painfully revealing. The city stirred to the sirens of an ambulance racing through empty streets, carrying one of the most beloved faces on Turkish screens, Hazal Sabesai. But it's what unfolded afterwards, under cold hospital lights and whispered breaths, that turns this into a story of responsibility, fear, and a devotion that refuses to hide. And at the center of it all, standing like a man caught between guilt and love, was Erkan Merrick. Before we unpack the night that stretched far beyond dawn, do a kind thing for our team here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, subscribe, tap the bell, and if you find value in the care we take with stories like this, consider joining our inner circle by hitting the join button. Your support keeps us brave and curious. Ready? Inhale. It was a very long night. Phones lit up across the city, then across the country. Hazal had collapsed. The woman who lives in motion, who sails from set to set with discipline and quiet focus, had reached her body's limit. For years, Hazal's reputation has been forged in relentless professionalism. But even the strongest frameworks can splinter under too much weight. Sources reaching our newsroom at Whispers of Turkish Stars described an emergency admission, a diagnosis of severe exhaustion, and the kind of controlled panic that only a hospital at night can hold. Through that maelstrom strode one figure who didn't simply arrive, he crashed through it like breaking surf. Urkin was the first to reach the hospital. Not as a colleague checking in, not as a polite friend offering flowers and a careful presence. He came like someone who believes he's failed the person he can't afford to lose. Witnesses swear that his usually measured calm evaporated at the entrance. Quick steps, restless hands, that guarded face unguarded for once as he requested updates with a voice that tried and failed to be steady. What happened while the medical team worked felt like a private drama playing out in a public hallway. Nurses moved in and out with efficient grace, monitors hummed, the clock hands dragged. Urkin could not be still. He paced and paused, sat and stood, hovered near the door and then retreated to the corridor window only to return again, as if he had been tethered and couldn't move more than a few steps from where she lay. It was during that anxious orbit that he took a phone call. His words were low, urgent, and not meant to travel beyond the line, but they did. People heard it. He kept repeating a version of the same brutal confession, "This is on me." Why would Urkin carry that weight? The answer surfaces when we look at the hours before Hazal was rushed in. The day prior, they'd held a marathon work session, a high-stakes, high-pressure meeting about a new project. Not just any project, either something ambitious for an international platform and a bold move for the Turkish market, the kind of opportunity that demands everything. Insiders claim Hazal had been running on fumes for days, sleeping in fragments and filming in stretches, and that this last push, with Urkin at the table, pushing with her and for her, became the breaking point. Those who saw him slumped in a plastic chair afterward said he whispered it again and again, eyes fixed on the floor, if only he had slowed her down. This is the pause where our Whispers of Turkish Stars family has to ask, what does it mean when someone feels responsible not only for a partner's schedule but for the strain beneath her skin? Friends worry. Partners worry. But blaming yourself for the toll on another person's body feels like a different order of intimacy, tangled, protective, maybe even a little haunted. Is this love bursting through the cracks of a professional bond? Or is this what happens when two people chase the same finish line at a speed no one can sustain? Tell us what you think below, you know we read every word. As the sky softened from black to a washed-out blue, updates turned from alarming to stable. Hazal was moved to a private room. Urkin refused to leave. He didn't delegate this to an assistant or send an agent to manage appearances. He stayed, his attention fixed on every change of expression, every whisper between nurses, every glance from the medical team. And then came the moment that melted a million hearts watching from their screens. Hazal's mother arrived and went straight to him. There was no blame, no thinly veiled anger, no polite distance. She put a hand on his arm and said, in a voice meant to soothe, that Hazal is strong, that he should breathe, that nights like this pass. That small act, a mother comforting the man who couldn't forgive himself, ignited conversation online about approval and belonging. If the family speaks to him like this, is he an outsider? Or is he already part of their circle in a way no headline has yet confirmed? Inside the room, the air shifted into something that felt almost sacred. Visitors were limited. Staff went quiet. Urkin kept his distance when others entered, but never took his eyes off Hazal. Every now and then, he would move to her side, touch her hand lightly, and ask in the gentlest breath, "Does anything hurt?" A nurse told us that when someone from the medical team stopped to explain the readings, he listened as if memorizing an exam he couldn't afford to fail, nodding, asking small, careful questions, willing her vital signs upward with the discipline of a man who has trained himself to fix what can't be fixed. Around sunrise, Hazal opened her eyes fully, her mind clear. She scanned the room until she found him. There he was, unshaven, exhausted, and solid as a wall that had refused to move all night. She offered the faintest smile, the kind that says she's still here. She told him not to worry. He didn't take the lifeline. His voice carried the ache of a private storm. He wished he hadn't pushed so hard, hadn't accepted the hours, hadn't let a dream run ahead of her body. She looked at him with the softness that comes only when history and affection meet pressure, and said that everyone miscalculates, and that he shouldn't carry her pain like a burden only he can see. She added, almost apologetically, that whatever he's feeling, that heavy knot of dread, belongs to him alone, and that she knows he's fighting it the way only he fights. Those who stood nearby say what followed needed no sound. They locked eyes, and in that silence you could read an entire script unwritten by anyone but them. Outside that door, however, the noise was deafening. Word had leaked. Fans gathered with handmade banners, and the press mapped every hallway and exit. The tag #Urkin Hazal climbed to the top of the trending lists before breakfast. People prayed. People speculated. People defended. Security worked overtime as the crowd swelled with the first light. Eventually, Erkan stepped out to the parking level. Cameras seized their moment. He looked like a man who hadn't closed his eyes in hours and couldn't if he tried, his clothes creased, his mind still upstairs. He didn't stop for microphones. He didn't shape a message for the front page. He paused in a corner, unlocked his phone, and sent a brief update to his inner circle. It was later leaked, of course. The line that made its way to us said the essentials. She was stable, and from now on, he had to be more deliberate. Imagine that. Not a grand declaration, not a statement for effect, a private promise to slow the world down for her. In the wake of the crisis, that whispered about special project burst into focus. A crew member, speaking to Whispers of Turkish Stars on condition of anonymity, revealed that the scale is massive, schedules as tight as drum skins, demands relentless, the promise of a global spotlight. Hazal did what she always does, the insider said. She showed up ready, even when sleep was just a rumor. But bodies are honest. They tell you when the bill is due. And so we ask, how much should a dream cost? When the future you've imagined finally starts to happen, who keeps you from trading away the present to pay for it? Morning brought a gentler tide. Hazal rested, surrounded by familiar voices and unspoken vows. Urkin, stripped of the charisma that made him a star and left with the truest parts of himself, sat quietly and held the line. The image that lingers is upside down in the sweetest way. The woman in the hospital bed found the words to calm the man by her side. Two people who have been linked by gossip and longing looks now share something no camera can fully capture, the memory of a night that changed the gravity between them. So what now? Does this scare rewrite their rules? Do they step into the light hand in hand? Or do they carry on insisting that work is the only story they share, while everyone else watches the pages turn for them? From our seats here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, we send every good wish to Hazal for a full recovery, and to Urkin, the hope that he allows himself forgiveness. Sometimes being there is the bravest thing you can do. Tell us your read on this. Does the devotion we saw in those corridors point to something bigger than a project? Will we see an admission that love and partnership are steering the same ship as ambition? Or will the official line try to pull the curtain closed again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, Share this video with anyone who sat awake scrolling for updates, and consider joining the channel to help us keep telling the stories that matter in the way they deserve to be told. Thank you for trusting Whispers of Turkish Stars with your time and your heart. Stay safe, hold close the people who make you brave, and we'll be here when the next truth chooses to be seen. And if you're wondering, yes, the night was long. But the bonds revealed by long nights are often the most real of all.